And so plenty of time here for reaction this morning. Ninko, I'll start with you. You were here yesterday, and we were talking. You were talking about how difficult you would imagine it would be for those players now to start preparing to play a game. Now, in the wake of what we hear, the positive, while the situation remains extremely serious, the positive news medically coming out of there. Just your reaction to everything that we saw yesterday.
Miracle, how the recovery in just one day can lift the spirits of a whole organization, a whole country. I mean, I think this is the first time that I've ever seen the outpouring of love and support, no matter what team that you support, the prayers. And just, I really think that with that update yesterday, you can almost see it on Josh Allen's face. Like, he was emotional. That everybody on that roster, they just wanted some type of information, good information. And when they probably got that news, and even said that going out to practice was good for the team, like going out there, it's almost like therapy. You're on the football field, you're running around, you're having a bonding moment with your teammates, and then to get that news, I mean, it's incredible. And
RC, between your work here at ESPN and all of your personal friendships and your work with your podcast, The Pivot, I know you've been talking to a lot of people. What have you been hearing?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing, we spoke with Jordan Whitehead last night, who was his childhood friend, who was his college roommate, and he said when he got the news, he was actually walking onto the practice field. His mom called, and he said when his mom called, he went and run up to his teammates and told his teammates that Damar is showing signs of improvement. He also ran up to his coaches and told his coaches this isn't a Buffalo Bills thing. And I think that has been shown by the fans of the Cincinnati Bengals and all that they've done to be a part of supporting Damar. And when you talk to guys like Tre'Davious White, who was obviously shaken while he was on the field in Cincinnati, and he explains to you exactly what he saw. Anybody who's ever played this game understands that we become desensitized to injury, right? We watch guys tear their ACLs. We watch guys throw their shoulders out of place, and the coach says, move the ball up 15. We don't react that way to watching guys physically hurt. And to see Josh Allen hug Joe Burrow, what Stephon Diggs' face looked like at that time, you understood what it was. But to hear it, to have a player explain to you exactly what was going on the grass and listen to the heroism. There you go. Yeah. That's the word I was looking for.
Yes.
Of Denny Kellington.
Absolutely,
and what he did under that sort of pressure, it lets you know what that situation was. So to hear Josh Allen speak about it is good to put the helmet on and have some sort of normalcy. And that normalcy wasn't going to happen for them until they felt something positive about their friend or heard something positive. But to also say that we will forever be changed, I think many watchers and lovers and fans of football will also forever be changed as well.
And Brooke Pryor, for those who don't know, you cover another team. You cover the Pittsburgh Steelers. And obviously, Damar Hamlin is a Pennsylvania native, so there's a lot of connections there as well. What sorts of things have you been hearing this week?
Yeah, I mean, the Steelers have a unique connection to Damar because the Pitt facility, they share it with the Steelers. They're right there. Mike Tomlin talked earlier this week. He's known Damar since he was 12. The guy that I've gone to all week to talk to is Levi Wallace, who played with Damar in Buffalo last year. And when I talked with Levi on Wednesday, he's obviously, he's taking it really hard. He said, I want to be there for my former teammates, but I know I need to be here for the playoffs to lock in, to try to get there. And when they came off the field yesterday, that press conference was just starting. I walked right up to Levi at his locker, and I said, hey, Levi, I don't know if you've seen this, but the doctor said that Damar's awake, that he asked who won the game. And Levi stopped what he was doing, and he looked at me, and he smiled. He broke into the biggest smile I've seen, and he said, that's amazing news. That's the best news I've heard all day. And he said, I hear that, and I know that prayers are real and God is real. And this is a morale boost for me and for everyone. And I can't explain to you what it was like to see him feel that relief, that his friend is doing better, that his friend is awake. And I think that this is something that whether guys were teammates with Damar or not, whether they knew him or not across the league, I think there is a sense of relief and just an uplifting in this positive news from yesterday.
Yeah, and so as we move to now the other news of the NFL day yesterday, I'll just finish the conversation by saying one quick thing. This has hit all of us, obviously, in our own ways. We all are indirectly connected to this however we can, and it's very hard for me to explain. I've been covering sports for 30 years. Somehow, when the doctor said yesterday that his first question was, did we win the game? I mean, that hit me so hard, I literally had to stop what I got choked up for a moment because it just, There's something about this stuff that is so powerful that while all the rest of us, I mean, literally an entire country has stopped and is praying for this man's health, that his first question was, hey, Doc, did we win the game? That hit me very hard.
I think the thing is, Greeny, people need to understand that that's how players feel about this game. Damar has done this his entire life, and his entire life he's wanted to get to this point. Jordan Whitehead mentioned to me that he would call all the time and say, I'm missing tackles or I'm doing this. How do I get on the field? How do I improve? That it was so important to him not to only be on the field, but to be a part of winning. And it speaks to the character of the young man, but it also speaks to the way that football players feel about the brotherhood, and not just the brotherhood of the entire NFL, but what those men set out to do on Monday night was all that was on his mind before the game. He was never expecting to experience what he experienced during the game, but even afterwards, that is always the main goal. And I believe that main goal is what's bringing this team together right now, but Damar is the reason that I think this team can now push forward knowing that he's okay.
All right.